Welcome back to part 6 of Fixing Up the Fargo. Guys, I have been looking for a few weeks now for valve grinding equipment. I have been looking on Facebook, posting marketplace ads. I've been on Kijiji. I've been calling people, looking at theirs, finding the machines, having people not wanting to sell them. I was talking to a guy on Facebook. He lives literally like 250 feet behind me. His dad passed away years ago and they put one in a shed, and look what I just came home with. We got the inspectors here looking at it. It's a Sioux 645 by the looks of it. Looks like there's some missing parts on the end here, and I managed to get this. It was frozen in. It looks like it's had some rust. I had to kick it and bang on it to get it out of the ground, but look at that. Let's clean this bad boy up and see what we can do with it. What do we think? The light works. It's a little broken, but it works. Where are we? Oh, right here. Oh. Oh. Oh, that's probably just frozen. Oh yeah, it's just seized up. We'll get it loose. How's that? You never seen an incandescent bulb before? Well, let's see what's in here and see if the missing pieces are in here. Oh. Stone dresser. Stones. I see a cord. Oh yeah, we got it. Look at that. It was sitting in the water. Look, we might even have some valves to practice on. Let's see if we got the missing parts for it, though, is what I'm concerned about. We got the, oh, I think, is this it? Does this go on the end here somehow? Or is this just your dresser? This might be just a stone dresser. A little rusty on this stuff. I think this stone dresser just goes over there. Oh, get out of there, cat. This, does this go? Oh, it's just, oh, it's like a little clip vise. Yeah, anyways, it's a little bummed out that we're missing this on the end. We'll see if we can find it. Out of excitement, I could not help myself but just dig into this thing. I haven't touched this yet, but I start oiling and lubing and moving everything and getting everything going. I dumped some automatic transmission fluid in there and some mineral spirits in it to get my pump going, and it started up, so that's good. It's starting to rotate. I've been oiling everything. Our plate works and shuts off as it should. It should go to here and shut off and then come on as we go. I've been oiling everything up, and now we have to fix our light. But before that, we're gonna see if this old girl works over here. Frank, you just want to see this, don't you? Huh? Yeah, she doesn't sound too happy. We'll get some lube in there. A little squeaky, and wow, it's amazing. Well, we'll get some lube in there and see what we can do. A day in the life of the shop cats when it's minus 30. Chasing condensation coming down the garage doors. So quick story for you guys. With both machines up and running, our valve seat grinder drill, whatever you want to call that, and our valve face machine working good, I talked to the owner of it, and basically I said that since I'm missing the piece of that machine, could I go back and look, and I'll gladly tidy up your garage while I'm in there because it was such a mess. I'll overlay a video here of when I went to get it, and keep in mind that was after I dug out probably 6 feet of stuff from on top. Long story short, he said to me, tell you what, if you clean my whole garage and tidy it up, that machine's yours. So me being me, I spent half the day there yesterday organizing, cleaning. It was minus 30, literally minus 32 I think when I woke up. I layered up, put clothes on, and that's just the type of guy I am. Go get it done. So I tidied it all up. I'll post the after picture of it. It was as tidy as it could be with all the stuff in there. And we got the machine. Okay, with his garage all cleaned out, I decided I'd clean up the machine a little bit last night. I spent some time with the wire wheel and I pulled out the grinder. I'll overlay a clip here, and I welded the stem of this. In turn of welding that, I went to put it back together and all of the old wiring was so brittle it just disintegrated. So I ran a new 10 gauge cord onto it over the old 14 gauge. Nobody had any nice black extension cords stock that you could buy and make up your own cord. So I just took my nice cold rated cord and put it on there. And now we got a heavier supply than factory, so it can't hurt. I also have been soaking the bushings on each end of this with oil, penetrating oil, just rotating it overnight to get it in there without having to pull this old girl apart, because it works just fine, but some oil in the bearings or bushings, I think they're actual bushings, will not hurt anything. I also threw a new light bulb in here, a nice LED one. It is a lot brighter than the old one, but unfortunately it doesn't heat you up anymore while you're grinding. That thing threw a lot of heat. Anything else, I've just been cleaning a little bit off camera because it really isn't that exciting to watch me clean. I took a hose here, I went over and got some clear hose because the other one had disintegrated and somebody had a piece of garden hose in there. So I put a piece in there because it was kinked, and now watch this. We got a nice good flow of coolant now. So we're gonna let this ATF soak through the machine and clean it out and then put on some new oil. So now that our machine's working, pumping lube, rotating and spinning, we're gonna get to tightening it up and making sure that everything's gonna be accurate. Our drill here is also just soaking in lube still, it works fine. But since my buddy Mike doesn't have a stone dresser, and I want to keep mine obviously, we're going to take his Black & Decker set that he lent us to do the valve seats, and we're just going to take a bunch of his stones and pre-dress them for him. He does old stuff that's all going to be at 45-degree angles, and I'm just going to prep them for him so he has the stuff ready to go when he needs them. So this stone dresser, you put your drill on top of here, you spin it, and this lever here you bring up and down. You only want to do a little bit so your diamond tip touches it, because if you go too far it's going to hit the metal and wear that away and your diamond will come loose. So I'll show you here quick. There we go, nice 45-degree angle on there. This is adjustable, it's got all your markings on it. Right in here, might be hard for you to see, but you can just adjust it to your angle, lock it in. So unfortunately it looks like this one has an adapter on it. You can see it's threaded on there, and these are the regular Black & Decker ones. See the difference there, one's bigger, one's smaller. All my Sioux stuff is bigger like this, so essentially what happened is I think you could buy this adapter so you could run Sioux stones or different brands of stones, but the thing is it won't fit down my holder here. It only goes so far and there's a ridge in there. I can't get it past. So some of my stones are bigger, some are smaller. So at least I'll be able to I'll have to use my Sioux adapter, or my Sioux, which this stuff's all Black & Decker and this is my Sioux one. The Sioux is bigger, as you can tell. So I'll be able to dress the bigger stones and at least he'll have some. It actually looks like these threads might come off, but they're seized on. All my stones are bigger and I don't know what the thread size is under here. So we're just gonna do the bigger ones. One down. Well, out of his whole kit, all I can do is use 2 stones, but it'll get them somewhere. Actually, since I got all kinds, I just took a fine stone of mine, and his bigger adapter works, so we'll give him one of those. I was always curious when doing research because the top ones are Black & Decker. They were more of your, well, not homeowner, but your corner garage. And Sioux was your machine shop from what I can tell. Anyways, they were both good. They've both stood the test of time. But I just wanted to see what the difference was in the Black & Decker and the Sioux. The Sioux's a little bit larger, but pretty well the identical thing. With our stones dressed and Mike's care package all taken care of, we're gonna look at this chuck. Look, see the play there, back and forth. We don't want that, so we gotta tighten this collar, I believe. So this, if I tighten this against here, should be even now. There's no more slop in there. For practice yesterday, I did this valve, even with the run out on the machine and everything slopped out. Still did a very, very nice job. So I've transferred our diamond over to this stone dresser. I don't know if I have it on completely correct, but I don't have a manual to go off of. I believe we want it on a 45-degree angle, but this is the only way I can make it work. Our stone is really ground down. It looks like they've maybe flipped it backwards because there's about a ½ inch over here. Anyways, we got to dress this, so we just want to make it true, and it'll be good for now until we get some new stones. That's a pretty decent finish if you ask me. When I replace this, I'm going to buy the expensive stone that's really fine. This stone is very coarse. I don't like it. I want to get the really fine stone so I have really nice finish on these new valves. They're made a lot different than the old girls. Tolerance wise, I'm going to go through a couple things just to make sure that this machine is as tight as can be and it's going to be accurate for us. But my goal is to get cupboards. We're going to have to move Dale, but I want to put cupboards all along here, up high, and then I'm going to make this a nice workbench area in here with storage underneath it as well. And I can hopefully put my valve machine up there, and then I'll have a work spot area with my old blacksmith vise on it. A quick coat of paint for the top where it was all rusty, and I did the bottom. We're leaving the sides original just like everything else, but the top was bad enough that it needed a coat to prevent it from rusting further. Okay, once our top tacked up, I flipped it up and I ground the metal, or I removed the shelves, and then I ground the rust out of the bottom. As you can see, there was some pitting in there, and I had some old silver paint left over from any of my old subscribers will know my old Dodge. I used to touch the rockers up with it before I got the thing repainted. Anyways, we're gonna let that set up, and it'll look respectable once we get a bit of oil in there and age to it, but it looks pretty fresh compared to the rest of it now. I've gone over here and I just got these out of the parts washer, also known as the kitchen sink for now. And I'm going to dry these off. That's respectable enough to put back in. This came out really good. I'm going to touch up the bottom because this touches the bottom. You won't be able to see it anyways, but it'll just protect it from rusting more. This is our top, which I'm just going to touch up with our wire wheel, and it'll look good once all of our pilots are in there as well. And same with this. I've started cleaning up my pilots. I got 1, 2, 3 oversized thousandths over each one, like it'll say 11/32 plus 1 thousandths. Anyways, we're going to clean this up with the wire wheel, get all of our crap cleaned up, and then by the time our paint's dry, we can hopefully get this thing loaded back together. The paint all dried up, put the shelves back in, bolted them in, got all my pilots and my drivers, everything cleaned up the best I could, got a light layer of gun oil on them that I use, oiled everything up, come out pretty good. You can't even really tell that this is a different color. I've cleaned up every single thing, thrown it back in. We got a bunch of these. I didn't realize these are all pilots. They go up from small to large. And then these are all nice reamers. A lot of them haven't even been used. I doubt I'll be getting into reaming any valve guides if I don't have to. But we got them. So, got all of our stones lined up. And now, we're just working on the drill. Guys having a tough day? Can't even wake them up. So, I just pulled this apart, or I was going to pull it apart. It almost looks like this case is fixed, but I think there actually is a small seam right there. Anyhow, I pulled out that screw, put some grease in there. As you can see, it's coming out of there, so that's good. So that'll grease up that bushing there, oil it up, and our trigger, everything is good. I polished the whole thing. Well, not polished it, but I wire wheeled it and cleaned it up. And I could paint it, but it'll just look horrible because when you go to use it and you set this down, it'll just chip the paint right off that aluminum. So let's get this back in the box and we're ready to go. And there we go. Everything's in there, nice and tidy. With our seat grinder all restored and ready to go, and our face grinder all ready to go, I have one question I'm going to ask you guys. If you find one in your area, my model is a 645, it has to be about a 645 model. I need this attachment that goes out here. It's for dressing your valve stems. You put your valve stem in, and then essentially there's another handle on top here, and you use this wheel to grind off your valve stems. It's really handy for working on old stuff, and if you find one in your area or you know of one, please let me know. Well, with all that being said, guys, if you do know of one of those valve stem trimmer attachments for the end of there, please let me know. Just shoot me a comment and I'll get you my contact info. But we have good news. It's the end of the week, and look what just arrived. Hastings piston rings. We got them finally. It's been a long wait. I'll start working on it next week, so stay tuned for the next video. Thanks again for watching, guys, and as always, I appreciate all your support, and we'll see you next time. Going in the back of our engine here, look at this. I'm not going to be able to show you guys now. Right there. See it down there? Right there. Can't get centered on it, it's very tight. There we go. Right there. It's down in there. Let's figure out how to get that out of there now.